Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Expendable Show. I'm your host, The Expendable. With me today is the always lovely Shauna. She had to come up, so she's living in luxury now. So let's get down to business. If you like my show, like, subscribe, and ding the bell. It's the only way I'll know if you like me or not. I have self-esteem issues, so I need to know if people like me. Also, my book is still out for sale, available at Walmart, Barnes & Noble, and Amazon, and at Story on the Square in McDonough, Georgia. Go buy it there first if you're in the vicinity. It's playtime. Shauna's playing with her little techie stuff. So today we're going to talk about some serious things going on with the Trump administration. We've had all this rapid stuff happen in a very short amount of time since Monday. So we're going to start going through that and sifting through it. So the first thing I want to go over. So when we look at Trump's his inauguration, he had all the tech giants there with him. So you had Bezos, Altman, Elon, Larry Ellison, Zuckerberg, all the big dogs were there, and they sat in the front row. So that's a statement to me. Trump's making a statement. And the statement is, I'm going to use the tech industry. So, okay, we'll talk about my feelings on that here in a minute. Also, when you go into your TikTok and you look at the policies, it's Facebook's copyright. So something happened where Facebook is now merged into TikTok. So I definitely don't like that. Makes me mad. So yesterday there was Trump held a major announcement, and so we well, here we go. Give me a second. I'm getting yelled at. I forgot to plug my dad into the show. Hey, there's Rob, live from Canada. So yesterday's tech announcement, I didn't know what to expect. I knew that he was making this announcement, but I didn't know what all was going to happen. And so when he did it, and he started talking that he was going through with this major, tech announcement that was going to be huge.
Just finish texting Papa Chuck. Then you can finish saying what you're saying. Lord. In other news, we're not happy with him getting all rubbing elbows with all these people. Y'all know I still don't trust Elon, and I definitely don't trust no Mark Zuckerberg. Definitely not no Jeff Bezos. Have you seen his fiance? No.
What's wrong with her?
Have you seen her?
No, I've never seen her before.
Let me see if I can pull her up.
Okay, so while she's doing that, because I'm kind of curious as to why you're being so dramatic about Jeff Bezos' girlfriend. But the announcement, so basically it was Sam Altman from OpenAI, Larry Ellison from Oracle, and hold on, Masayoshi Son from SoftBank, which is a Japanese bank. So they've come together to create a system called Stargate. Okay. So if you're like me and you're like a techie nerd and you like sci-fi movies, like Stargate is one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever with Kurt Russell in it. and basically he saves the world from the Anunnaki. So, which they don't call it the Anunnaki in the movie, but we all know what they're talking about. So what Stargate is, so it's going to be a $500 billion investment. Okay, so and that investment is going to help create data centers. So Trump already expressed the need that they're going to have to create more energy to power these data centers, because it's an AI system that they're going to try to pass on as using it for medical purposes. So the example that they gave was cancer. Hey, G bro. Hey, man. Sorry Notre Dame lost. I feel bad for you. Not really. Go Bucks. But so the data centers are going to need energy. So they're going to have to produce more energy. They're going to get this whole structure set up. So this is basically like an AI infrastructure. And Jenny Lynn's here. So what they're going to do is they're going to create the AI system, probably through OpenAI. And they're going to use Oracle to help out with some things. And then a lot of the funding is probably going to come from Masayoshi-san. Masayoshi-san. Not Daniel-san or Miyagi-san. Masayoshi-san. He must be a grandmaster. But so what's going to happen? They gave the example that they're going to use this to be able to look inside your system and see if you have the capabilities. What is the probability of you developing certain cancers? And they also said they will be able to go in with the AI system in through your system to see if you have cancer in your blood or if there's particles of tumors floating around in there. So there, to me, when you look at Big Pharma, think about all the decades that we've had pills rammed down our throat. Okay. And there's not one disease that Big Pharma has cured. It's just been a money pit. Here, we'll just crumble up some powder into a pill and you can buy it for $90 a pill and it'll make you feel all better. But it doesn't eliminate anything. It makes you more sick generally, allegedly. I don't want to get sued by Big Pharma, allegedly. So I think this could help really rein in Big Pharma. So I like this idea. I obviously, for obvious reasons, for those of you who watch my show, I am not a fan of Sam Altman. If they would take Sam Altman out of this plan and use somebody else in the AI industry, I would feel a heck of a lot better about it. Because just like Elon tweeted just today that Sam Altman's he's a skis, and he's right. And Elon's probably not much better, but Sam Altman's on my radar right now because I'm working on that Suchir Balaji case. But if they would take him out of there, I would not have any questions about this. But knowing Sam Altman's pattern of behavior, where he's always trying to scam something all the time, I don't like him in this position. And I think Trump needs to really separate himself from Sam Altman. I think that's a burning building that you got to kind of just push off to the side and go, hey, man, I know you're smart and everything, but you're a burning building. I can't have you next to me. But that's me. I'm a little biased because I've invested a lot of time looking into him. So if this technology is as what they say it is, and it can do what they say it can do, it could be groundbreaking. It could be one of the greatest, advancements in our life, and probably in modern era. So I do want to see this succeed as they're advertising it. However, with AI in general, I have huge issues with AI. So there's not enough federal regulations and laws, period. There's basically none. Tennessee has like the most, and it's just generalized guide rails. So I don't think we're prepared as a legal system to be able to run our checks and balances with the AI system. And that's what discourages me. That's what I have a tough time with AI. I don't have a problem moving forward technologically. We need to do that. However, we need to make sure that there's legislation in place to keep the AI systems and the AI companies and the programmers that create the algorithms honest, because we don't have a way to keep them honest right now. Oh, look at you, fancy schmancy. It's sideways though.
Yeah, I know. It won't let me do it. If I do it the other way, then it only catches partial of the book. So
Right.
I can't do it that way. Kenzo, come on.
Why are kids getting in trouble?
No, we're not. He's pottying.
Oh, okay. So I have several questions that if I was in front of people like Elon and Larry Ellison and these guys that are in the tech industry, even Bezos, he's using his own AI system, or Zuckerberg. My questions are, would AI use our data to create a global database? Because I want to be able to opt out of that. I don't want my data and anything like if I use AI medically on me, I don't want them taking those documents and plugging them into some database that other companies can third party them. And so I don't like that. And I would want to know if they have a system set up to prevent that from happening. Would they use our data to sell to marketing companies? Everybody's already doing it. They already sell our data to marketing companies. That's why nobody ever reads when they sign up for stuff. Nobody ever reads the terms of the contracts. We just click a box and click submit, and then we've automatically given all of our information to whoever it goes to. So we would want to make sure that that's in place. Can AI regulate itself? That's my next question. AI is supposed to be an infinite learning tool where it itself can learn. I don't know if I'm really sold on that. I don't like that. Just like I've talked on previous shows, the AI system, if it can evolve, so humans also evolve. Some humans evolve good. Some humans evolve bad. Does the AI system have the capabilities to choose its own path? That's a question that I have. Do we have guardrails in place to prevent them from getting extreme? Like, for instance, if the AI system is left leaning and I don't agree with anything on the left, is the AI system going to target me as a terrorist? Are they going to shut my car down while I'm driving it? Are they going to empty my bank account? Are they going to do all these things? And I haven't seen anything amongst any of these AI companies that tells me that they can or can't do this. So I have my my skepticism, and I think that there's more answers that we need to get out of the AI systems before we just let these guys run wild because everybody's in a race to be the first one to do it. So I think we just need more stricter laws. We need to get laws in place. Our congressman, I've already emailed my representative, Mike Collins, down here in Georgia, and said, hey, what we need to do this. Here's what I would like to see. Boom, 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 boom. Regulations. Let's get them in place so I don't have to worry about this no more. I don't want to wake up and have, my toaster attack me in the middle of the night.
It's very much given iRobot. It's very much given iRobot. Okay. Not comfortable with it at all. None whatsoever. And then when Elon did the rollout of all the new Tesla things that he wanted, it looked exactly like the stuff from off of iRobot. I'm not here for it. I don't like technology. I think it's really creepy. I don't like that this system can learn and teach itself, because at what point, like, where does the learning stop? So that's a problem for me. And it's actually been tested that they've been working on putting in. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm not happy about it at all. I'm good. I don't like it. I don't agree. I don't.
So iRobot could eventually be based on a true story.
Absolutely. And
I already got a German Shepherd. I already got a German Shepherd just like Will Smith in iRobot. So I know I'm going to end up dead at the end. But your kids are being bad. I can already tell. So that's something that I think all of us Americans need to really sit down and really think about. And it's going to be some questions because for one, I only know so much. I've researched the AI systems and who's doing what and what systems. You know, Elon's got his XAI out now. Everybody's got all these AI systems. Well, it looks like Sam Altman has stepped to the forefront, and it looks like Elon doesn't like it. So when we're looking at the Trump administration right now, and you're looking at what is happening, yeah, we're seeing all these executive orders. And we're going to talk about that next. But we also have, Trump's going out, and the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, he's coming out and he's like, hey, everything's good. We're following Trump's plan. Everything's cool. Okay, that's fantastic. But what about this war that's going on amongst the tech industry that Trump has reeled into his administration and is keeping that industry close to him? Maybe he's keeping it close to him so he knows what everybody's doing. Maybe he's going to use every one of them for whatever piece of the puzzle he's trying to put together. I personally think, and I hope, that he's just keeping them close so he knows what they're doing. What they need to do, if Facebook, in fact, does have a stake in TikTok now, they need to get a hold of Mark Zuckerberg and tell him to stop pulling my videos off. I don't care about everybody else's, just mine. Anyway, because you know how long, man, appealing these videos is ridiculous. I just appealed one today, and luckily I won it. But so now let's go into Trump's executive orders. Breaking news, Trump's executive orders. Oh. Okay, so this is going to be some of the ones, and I probably haven't, he's probably done some today, and I just don't have them updated yet. So let's go. Number one, clemency for 1,500 J6 cases. The liberals are going crazy over this because, oh my gosh, he's pardoned 1,500 people. So let's say, and this is a rough ballpark, but it's close. 1,000 of those are very, very like low-level misdemeanor cases that they're pretty much, if there's any pending cases, they've already exceeded their like full sentence. So about 1,000 of those are irrelevant. They're minor misdemeanors or low-level misdemeanors. So then the other ones, a lot of them have already exceeded their sentences. They're already out, or they're on house arrest or whatnot. I watched the guy, one of the J6 people, they cut their house arrest monitor off today. Now there's other ones that are a little bit more serious. However, 4 years has gone by. I'm not sure I saw anybody in any of those videos do 4 years of prison time worth of anything in there. There's the liberals are going, we had 5 law enforcement officers die from that. No, don't lie. You got to tell the truth. Nobody actually died except for Ashley Babbitt during the insurrection, quote unquote. So I think that's another one they need to look into. But let's just move on. We're moving on. So Trump did extend the TikTok law implementation for 75 days. I certainly hope that the Department of Justice and the FTC, the SEC, everybody who's got an acronym that has anything to do with the tech industry needs to look into TikTok and get them on the straight and narrow, because they're not on the straight and narrow. As much as I like TikTok, I'm a big advocate that I do like it. However, I do know that there are a lot of problems with it, that it would be nice if somebody would go in there and say, hey, you guys are trying to restrict free speech. You need to ease up on your Chinese socialism a little bit. Next, federal workers have to go back to work. No more working from home. Elon Musk released a statement. He said in all the federal buildings that he walked through, almost all of them had about half the people there working. So what are these people doing? They're sitting at home doing nothing. So, Shauna, should they go back to work? No, they should.
That's fine. Okay, my bad. Something happened with my laptop. Absolutely they should, because I'm sorry, if I have to go to work, rain, sleet, snow, it doesn't matter. How are we paying for not only? Hold on, give me a second. No. How we as Americans paying for these people to work from home, for one, and two, we're paying for them to have this facility because we're paying for the lights, the gas, and the water in those buildings, and they're not in there. Absolutely. I don't understand why they're at home at this point. COVID's been over for 5 years. There's no reason for them to be working from home at this point. None. The whole, we need to not be around each other, breathing the same air, pointless. Y'all need to go back to work. And if they're not going to go back to work, they need to do something with the buildings. If we're paying for it already with our taxes, let's use it for something like homelessness. If we have this new policies going on with people being able to become citizens, they can house them in there until they finish getting all their paperwork together. Those are just a few bright ideas, because I mean, those are the issues that we're having. But the main issue is that we're paying for both of these and they're not in these buildings. That's a problem. So one or two things needs to happen. I'm just saying.
Right.
Because I don't like the fact that I'm paying for this and they're not using it.
Look, once upon a time, I had an employee that thought that they should work from home sometimes. And I know for a fact that that employee was not working from home, and they were just going and playing guitar all over the place.
But see, that's a lie to say that for us, because we're under certain networks. You can't work from home under certain networks. So it was pointless in the first place saying that.
Right.
But either way.
But anyway,
they need to go. They need to go back to the buildings for sure.
Go back to work.
They definitely need to go back to the buildings. Yeah, absolutely.
Here's the next two are my two favorite ones on here. Withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement and withdrawing from the World Health Organization. The Paris Climate Accord is a trash organization that just steals our money and funnels it into these green energy initiatives, which all it does is just puts money back into basically the cabal's coffers. We're basically funding socialism through the Paris Climate Accords. So that's done. Thank God. World Health Organization, you couldn't find a bigger organization to botch COVID. They could have wrangled COVID from the beginning. They were in Wuhan when it first started, and they did nothing. It is a proven fact. You can research that. I wrote all about it in my book and cited it all. Actually, it's on Shauna's page. But you can look it up. Wuhan knew about it. They screwed it up, and millions of people died. So there you go. And then Dr. Fauci covered it up, which, by the way, Russia has offered a deal that they would be willing to stop the war in the Ukraine if the United States would hand over Dr. Fauci.
Hand him over. Hand him over.
Why
are we even like? What are we even questioning here? That's the best deal that I've heard for America in a long time. Send him on over. I mean, if they want me to escort him over there, I surely will. I hold his hand and say, you going with these people, because I'm tired of this war. I'm tired of hearing about it, and I'm tired of them begging money from us for it. So if this is all that we have to do, we gonna what is it, Air Force One, where they do the drops, we gonna drop his behind in the Ukraine.
Air Force One is what the president rides in.
Oh yeah,
we can't drop bombs from Air Force One.
What is it? The Marine, whichever one it is, where they drop when they usually drop the
B-52s.
That. Let's do it. Let's drop him right on down. They can come pick his behind right on up. I don't even understand why we're questioning this.
I want to give him an escort from Brittany Griner to give him the ins and outs of the Russian prisons. Hey, they're going to take him up to the Black Dolphin if they get him. The Black Dolphin is the most isolated prison on the planet. It's like up in the Arctic Circle. And if you escape, you're pretty much going to die. There's nowhere to go. So go research Russian prisons and read about the Black Dolphin. That is a nasty prison to be in. That's the prison they send you to when they don't want you to come out.
Let me tell you this. I don't care what prison or how good or bad it is. It doesn't matter. Dr. Fauci lied about a lot of stuff. He was responsible for a lot of deaths here in the U.S. I say we get rid of him. I feel like it's justice served. I feel like this kind of puts us at ease. This is a great starting point for America moving in the right direction. I think this would be a good thing. And it's a warning signal for anybody that wants to do harm to the American citizens. That's all I'm saying. It's a win-win situation for us. It's no negatives about this.
The good thing is Rob agrees with you because he says it's global genocide. I believe so too. I think Dr. Fauci should be labeled that. He should be in the same category as Goebbels, Joseph Goebbels from World War II with the Nazis. And I believe that Dr. Fauci fits that criteria without being sarcastic. So next. So he ordered the federal government to restore the freedom of speech and prevent government censorship going forward. Hallelujah. Now, if they'll just give me my Instagram back from my permanent ban that I got for creating political, it was probably propaganda. I'm kind of a propagandist a little bit, but they gotta like get these tech guys and it sounds like they're making some progress on that. You know, at least Facebook showed on paper where they're dialing back some of their censorship stuff, but they need to do better. He ordered the ended weaponization of the government by the Biden administration. So that's a law. That's an executive order now. You can't do it.
Just to put this out here, I don't know if you saw this, but Trump announced that he's possibly considering getting rid of federal income tax.
Yeah, that's something that he's thrown around a few times. If that happens, that would be insane. But I don't know if you can get away with doing that and not fund the government at the same time.
Well, he's wanting to use the tariffs. He's wanting to use the tariffs to fund it all. That's basically what he wants to do.
If he can make that's the goal. If he can make financial sense out of it and show me that that's how that will work, I will buy it.
He said tariffs ranging from 10% to 60% on imports, aiming to generate enough revenue to potentially eliminate income tax.
Right. I mean, I hope that would be cool. I'm not going to argue about that. But right, Rob, soldiers need reinstated with back pay for being kicked out of the military for not getting the COVID poison.
Who would want to go back anyways after the way they mistreated them?
Yeah, no. The enrollment's actually going up again since Trump won. Like people are enrolled, they're starting to go back to the military. Good. So we're gonna get our numbers back up. So the military is now gonna be helping out with the border. So that's exciting. They'll get more done. They designated the cartels and the gangs as terrorist groups. That's huge. That needed to happen. Now we can do a lot of damage with those guys now. He's shutting down asylum and refugee camps. So I like that. You know what, Rob? I'm not sure if
I have mixed feelings about that.
What, shutting down the camps?
Yeah, I have mixed feelings.
There's no asylum anymore.
You said what?
Asylum's done. You can't come to the United States and seek asylum anymore.
I know. I just have mixed feelings about that because I was raised around some people whose parents seeked asylum from specifically like one of my friends that I grew up with. His parents were from North Korea or South Korea, whichever one it is. I think North Korea. And, his parents escaped that and raised him over here to be safe and give him a better life. So I have mixed feelings about it. I don't.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yes and no. In order for that person to get over here to the United States, they would have had to have a visa. So he wouldn't even have been part of the asylum program anyway. He would have been part of the legal visa people. So he was here legally, most likely. Otherwise, did he go to Mexico and sneak in? Or go to Canada and
hey, listen, it wasn't talked about much. It was very hush hush. So I'm thinking they might have come over not the proper way, but we're just gonna,
See, Rob's telling you, there's not a problem getting in the country. If you do need asylum or you do need to go from one country to the other, you can relatively get here kind of easy. as long as you fill out your documentation. The problem is, just like what we talked at work, Shauna, here's what the problem was the whole time during the Biden administration. Biden opened up the borders, okay? So massive amounts of people came because they knew that they would just catch and release. They'd catch them and then just throw them into the country and say, here, go to your court date in 5 years. And then nobody would go. So what happened was they created almost an autonomous zone in Mexico on this side of the border where the cartels ran it. So even if you were trying to go to a port of entry and enter legally, you couldn't get in because the cartels will stop you before you get there and go, nope, you're not going through that port of entry the legal way. You're going to pay us $3,000 and we're going to take you in our way that we have. So the cartels really did us a massive disservice in the immigration system. So Trump is addressing that. And he's also the border wall's been passed, or at least that he signed the executive order for it. So the wall's going to get completed. We've got military down there. We've got people doing everything they need to be doing. They've ended worthless programs, and they've declared the cartels and the gangs a terrorist organization. So now we can apprehend the right people.
You don't. You don't look like you're not doing nothing. I feel like within it's been 48 hours since he's been in office, and I feel like we've already saved at least like $12 billion.
Like
oh my God, thank you, God. I mean, I think that the whole thing is, we were talking about it a little earlier. From what I've seen, a lot of people are freaking out over the thing, like a lot of the executive orders that he signed off on or is considering signing off on or whatever. And I think people I get it. It seems scary. It seems like, oh my God, these are things that were going to protect us. But it's just like, what type of protection was it really doing? Especially like I saw a lot of people freaking out when he said we were no longer going to be with WHO. And I'm like, why would you want to be with the World Health Organization? Like they were founded in 1942, and America has the highest obesity rate, the highest death rate amongst cardiac arrest and other things like that. Most Americans are on 2 or 3 medications. Like, it's just like, why would we want to keep attaching ourselves to this? And they've done absolutely nothing in what the job that they were supposed to do. Like, this is a positive thing. Yes, it's scary because it's like, oh my God, where we go from here? And it's uncertainty. But I mean, it's better than what we've been at. We could Rob, seed oils. Oh, yeah. Have you seen the thing going on TikTok that they've been doing, the apothecary book that they've been trying to get off of TikTok?
Yeah. I mean, the organic ways of doing things is obviously going to be better.
We got to get back to our holistic practices. It's time for people, if you have parents and recipes that you guys use and that your parents used to use when you were kids, start sharing those, start passing them down your generations. This is how you're going to keep your family from being sick and dependent on all these drugs that they try to pump into us all the time. Like, we need those.
So the next one is a controversial one. And so it's Trump signed an executive order to end birthright citizenship to children of illegal immigrants. So it's basically eliminating the anchor babies, the ability to be an anchor baby. So I have to look at this from several different angles because I want to just say, well, it's a great plan because Donald Trump did it. However, there's a pro and a con to it. And I think it's a tough decision to make as president. And this one's going to get tied up into court for probably the entire duration of Trump's his presidency, because they're going to contest this till the day they die. But I think this is a very good solution because we have a problem with the kids getting split up from the parents. Obviously, we have 300,000 kids that we don't know where they're at in this country because they get split up at the border from their parents, or they get trafficked, or whatever happens. So this is a legal way for when people come in and then they have kids here, but the parents are illegal. We can't just deport the parents and say, well, the kid's actually, this 2-year-old kid's American citizen, though. Well, we'll keep them. We'll deport the parents. But at the same time, you can't say, well, we're not going to deport you because you have an American citizen child. So just Trump decided to create to end birthright. That way, when they deport the parents, the child has to go as well. It's not that the child can't come back in. The child's a citizen. When you're a citizen, you're a citizen. So that's why he put it as if you're a child, children under the age of 18 of an illegal immigrant. So when you become of age, you don't have to worry about getting deported. So that's kind of the way he looked at it.
I mean, honestly, it kind of sucks, but I'm pro that, because when we saw those videos of those kids, like literally in a concentration camp in cages,
we can't
because they had been separated from their parents because their parents were illegal immigrants.
And their parents might not come back.
Exactly. So what happens there? And then I feel like they did no type of plan to say, okay, let's reunite these kids with family, like get them back over to the border. None of that. It's just you have thousands of children in cages like they're animals. And that was very much inhumane when you strip them from their family. So it is a mixed feeling, but I'm more so pro them doing it that way, because at least we know that these children will stay with their parents and they will be safe for the most part, versus we don't know where these kids are disappearing to, or we do. They just don't want to admit it.
That is correct. So the next one is the death penalty has been reinstated for illegal immigrants who murder law enforcement officers. I'm okay with that one. The next one, he declared a national emergency related to energy costs for American consumers. That's good, because that's going to make, once the cabinets all get confirmed and we get the government really rolling, that's going to be a lot of their major concern, is how do we get the finances of this country and get the inflation under control and get prices and real wages to matter. So that's going to be a big one. He ended the electric vehicle mandate. I knew that was going to happen. That was pretty much a shoe-in. People should be able to buy whatever they want. If you want a gas-powered car, get a gas-powered car. I will never buy an electric car.
Well, I just think it was very unfair, because, I mean, my ex, he just recently bought a Tesla, and it was more expensive to add his Tesla to the insurance versus getting just a brand new regular car, because they don't want to pay for the $10,000 batteries that these cars typically have in them. And then for the fact that it's still a new system, that it does have issues, that it could have these types of things, the insurance, they don't want to pay for any of that. They don't want to cover any of that. So it's just like, why are you forcing people to get this when they can barely even put it on the insurance? Like, the insurance companies don't want you to get these. So it's unfair to force somebody to do this when the whole other part of this car that's important, you're fighting to insure it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't get it. So I'm glad he did that, because it's stupid.
Yeah, I don't like electric cars. So the next one is he empowered the Alaskan energy production. That's huge. There's a lot of natural resources there. So that's good. Alaska needs to contribute. We're going to allow them to, and they're good at what they do when we let them do what they're supposed to be doing. Then we're going to boost liquefied natural gas production for both export and domestic use, which is good.
Right on.
He's signed a memorandum on inflation, directing the government to focus on bringing down rising costs. Good. We got it on paper. Now we can hold him accountable to it, which he's going to work on that anyway. He ordered the government to recognize 2 genders only that cannot be changed.
That was my big one. And I hate to say that, to all my LGBTQ community people, I love y'all. But that was my big one. I'm very much happy about that, because as a woman, for the fact that I'm watching podcasts discuss what a woman is, I'm sorry, you weren't born with a uterus, so you're not a woman. Moving on. I don't care how much you feel like one. I don't care how much you want to get breast implants. You are not a woman. You're a man. I don't care. I'm so over this conversation. I'm so over the conversation being had with 3 and 4-year-olds in schools, which is very inappropriate in my opinion. I'm mad that we have to have the conversations, if it's appropriate or not, to let a transgendered boy to woman go into the bathroom with other women and young girls. I do not care. Those conversations are stupid. So I'm glad somebody decided to put their foot down and say, this is a line that we're not crossing. So get over it. I don't care how you feel about it. You can live your life how you want to, but we're not going to cross the line of science just to appease your feelings. I don't care. And that's where we've gotten to a point we're so afraid to speak the truth on things that was never questioned before because we don't want to hurt people's feelings. Get over it. Like, I don't care. So thank you, God, that somebody finally did it. You know I'm not a fan, but I'm happy that they did this. Jesus Christ.
There you have it. Shauna doesn't care about people's feelings. Next, the DEI policies are gone. Hallelujah. There, that one.
I'm sorry. I've been seeing a lot of the responses to that, and people are like losing their minds. And I just think I think it's funny.
Look, I would never follow the DEI policies, even if
it's Eric's book.
I would never follow the DEI policies, even if Jesus himself came down here and told me to hire based upon race or sexual identification. Never do it. I have a business to run. I want to run my business as successfully and as efficiently as possible. I do not care what race you are, what nationality you are, what religion you are, or if you're a male or female. I don't care. But if you can come in and you can do that job at a high standard, just like Rob said, the qualifications, if you can be a high standard employee and a high quality employee that's going to be valuable to the job that you're tasked to do, fantastic. It doesn't matter what you look like. You could be a freaking a tortoise. I don't care. But as long as you can do the job, that's all that matters. But I'm not going to have somebody come in here and say, hey, you don't have enough of this type of person in here, or you don't. But I'm not hiring based upon that. You have a qualification, 2 qualifications when you work for me. 1, that you do the job that I pay you to do. 2, you show up to work when you're supposed to show up to work. It's a very low bar, I know, but you'd be amazed as to how many people can't succeed with those 2 stipulations that I have. So yes, I do look for people with work ethic. You have to have a work ethic to work for me. If you do not have a work ethic, you're not going to last very long. And if you don't like coming to work, I'm not going to like paying you. So that's how I feel. But that's the standard we need to get back to. America was built on hard work. It was built in the steel industry. It was built in the car industry. I don't know what they was doing down here in the South back then, but up north where I'm from, we busted it. We busted our asses, and we learned
farming. You had a lot of farmers.
Farmers.
A lot of farmers. I think, and I mean a lot of warehouse work too, I guess you could say.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. So like this country's built on the back of hard work, and we have too many people that think that just because I'm a Super Bowl lesbian that I should hire you just because you identify as that. Well, can you come over here and you pick up this 50-pound roll of
I'm thinking
50 times a day?
What, Bubba?
There's just some things that don't make sense.
I mean, I think too, being a former hiring manager myself, I saw this video a while back when the whole DIE thing started rolling out, and one of the things that the lady talked about, she was the current hiring manager at the time. She was one of the things that she said that she didn't like about it was the fact that, you know, the whole thing with the pronouns and the disruption that it would cause in the workplace. And I totally agree, because it's no longer about complaints. Oh my God, this person's not taking on their workload, or oh my God, this person is not finishing their projects or whatever like that. It's now the conversations come in. They misidentified me when they addressed me. Those are okay. Mama's doing her show. Go over there. But
all right, I'll take over. So the next one, and Shauna's right, the DEI program, it's trash. It lowers the standard of quality and excellence of your occupation. I have certain quotas I need to make for my boss, which is the owner of the company. So if I don't meet those standards because I have to hire DEI people, I'm going to be pissed, because I'm not going to fail because I have to be politically correct. I'm going to hire the best people for the job. I'm going to move my people around where I need them. So next, review of facilities that have been renamed as part of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So some of the buildings that they renamed in the last 4 years, he's going to review them and probably name them back or name them something else. Just like
I got mixed feelings about that. Because a lot of these buildings was named after Confederate people, and it's just like, we're changing it back to that Trump. I don't really like that. But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
They were changing the schools from like Thomas Jefferson High School to Soy Burger Academy. Like that's you can't disrespect our presidents just because it hurts feelings. Bro, those dudes built our...
But not every president was a good president, and we're not going to sit here and be like, so if it's like, oh my God, Nixon High School, we love Nixon. No, so it's not about disrespecting the president. If there were shit people, they don't even name anything.
they were going after George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin. Like,
and why wouldn't we? Those weren't great people.
No, they weren't, but they're the founding fathers.
Okay, it doesn't matter. They were shit people. What do you mean? Thomas Jefferson literally made his son, who he created with one of his slaves, work out in the fields. Why would we want to glorify this man? He's a shit person. We're not glorifying these people.
And he may not change the names back to what they were, but he needs to get them off of whatever the stupid DEI names that they made them. But to me,
they can take this Obama Elementary out from Atlanta. That'd be good.
I didn't know we had one.
Yeah, it's in Lithonia too. It's Obama Elementary, something theme school, whatever it is.
They must not be very good because I've never heard of it.
It's a shit school. Shit performance.
To me, I don't care what they name buildings. I could give two shits. It's irrelevant. It's just a name. He also lifted Biden's designation of Cuba. So Cuba's back to being a national security threat. Yes, Rob, it's a circus. I agree. I don't really care. So Cuba is back to being a national security threat, which it wasn't a week ago. Federal hiring freeze, except for the military. I like that. He rescinded Title IX, which is a discrimination law based on gender identity and sexual orientation, which basically goes along with what we've already talked about. He is ending federal grants to sanctuary jurisdictions. I think that's how Trump's going to play the sanctuary areas like in California and in Minneapolis and some parts of Chicago. I think he's going to financially choke them until they stop resisting the federal law, which is what they're going to have to do. Directed attorney generals to help the states get the lethal injection drugs. So you screw up bad enough, they're gonna give you the death penalty in those states. Not every state has the death penalty, so everybody don't panic. Just like the abortions, some states you can get abortions, some states you can't.
They should.
It
should be a certain criminal acts like rape.
Well, I mean, that's basically that's
Murder.
why they label them capital offenses. So you can't go to death unless you have a capital offense generally.
Well, good.
So that's
that.
about how it should be. So real quick, I'm going to go through. I've been on social media. I've been seeing all of the conspiracies. Trump works for the cabal. That he's really just another cabal guy, which I don't buy that one. Trump is catering to the billionaires. Maybe a little bit. Elon Musk is running the country. JD Vance is already dead and a clone, and that he's just a clone. I saw that one. JD Vance is already dead. So beware. There's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there.
Shout out to Usha because she was looking beautiful during her inauguration.
So my take is Trump's creating a new oligarchy. So you have the old families of Europe, the ones that we don't like, that have been corrupt while they collect their billions and billions of dollars. They're out. Trump's creating the new oligarchy. And yes, at the end of the day, you're looking at two different systems of oligarchy. And well, I mean, then you can add Putin in there, that's a third. But it's not going to change the way that these people enrich themselves. We can't stop these people from enriching themselves. Donald Trump is always going to find ways to enrich himself. The Clintons, the Obamas, the Bidens, the Harrises, all these old families, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, they're always going to find ways to enrich themselves. Putin is always going to find a way to enrich himself. You're just switching all oligarchies. So instead of having a far left radical oligarchy, now we're in a right wing oligarchy that is more based around faith and the middle class and the hardworking Americans. So it's the principle has changed. That's it.
I wouldn't say all of that, but I will say at least they're not going to smile in our face and be like, we're doing this for your greater good, and you're screwing us over every chance that you get playing in the Americans' faces. I would at least just want you to do it and tell me that you're doing it. So it's okay. Like, it's okay. Okay, yeah, you're doing it. You're right. He is creating a new oligarchy. Okay, we're never going to be able to get away from that. That's what the U.S. was founded on.
Right. The thing with Trump, though, is just like in his first term, he said, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And we're in day 2, and we're seeing him already knock stuff off the list. So the stuff that he promised he would do, that we all voted for, he's already started doing it. So he's going to get a success rate. He's at the highest approval rate that he's ever been. He's at 50% right now. So that means a lot of Democrats are happy with what he's doing. So you have that. Trump is doing exactly what he said he was going to do, just like the first term. And this is that first term is what created MAGA. And now he's going to strengthen it. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out. Because Trump, when you look at his family at the inauguration, that's when I really started to think about it, because you have Trump, his sons, Laura, Barron. Bro, Barron is dapper. Let me tell you, that kid, he's got a future. I love that guy. He looks like James Bond. He's got that little glare.
Let's not disrespect James Bond like that by saying that.
Come on, man. Barron,
he doesn't even have the sex appeal that James Bond just displays by standing still. Too far. Hard cut off right there. Hard cut off. No.
Barron looks like a mob boss.
That I can agree with. He looks greasy and like can we trust him or can we not?
I trust him.
Mm-hmm. I know you
already. Do. I've only ever heard him say one sentence, but I trust him. Mm-mm. So going on, like, you have the shadow families of the old way of doing things. They're all falling. They're all running for the hills. They don't know what to do because Trump's just basically come in and has created this massive following and just has engulfed them with it. So I like that. And it proves the point with the departure from the World Health Organization. That's a slap in the face to those European oligarchs. And he's going to be at the World Economic Forum tomorrow, and he's going to do a virtual speech. I'll guarantee you, with how much he's been talking a lot of shit about Klaus Schwab. So I guarantee you that I'm going to watch it because I know it's going to be fireworks. He's going to tell off the World Economic Forum tomorrow. Watch. And it's going to be epic. Yes. Other little news before we get off. I know we're approaching the hour mark. Marco Rubio was confirmed as the Secretary of State. That was kind of a shoe-in. It was 99-0 vote. Everybody voted for him. John Ratcliffe is he's probably going to get it tomorrow for the CIA director. And then we have the agriculture secretary's getting her confirmation hearing tomorrow. She'll be an easy one. She's been in the ag industry for a long time. And real quick, so I'm 50-50. I'm kind of glad Elon Musk screwed up the other day, and they're saying that he did the Hitler salute several times. I've watched the whole video, and he may have done a little extra exaggeration. It is very, even though he said he'd give his heart to everybody, he did do it 2 other times before he said that. So
I feel like he's trolling. I feel like he's trolling.
He could be trolling, but still,
I just think it is.
Thing we need in this administration. We don't need it though. He doesn't need to do it, and he needs to remember that if you're going to put yourself in the political public eye every day like that, you got to get your shit together. You got to keep it together because the left is going to use everything you do to create an uprising against you. So,
but I think that's why he's been doing it though. I think that's if that's the case, if he's trolling, I feel like that's why he did it because I've been on Twitter every day since the inauguration, and he's been tweeting. He's been tweeting nonstop and trolling and nonstop. But I feel like he's doing that. If that's what he's doing, I feel like he's doing it to show the people it doesn't matter what we do, good or bad. They're going to spin it in the media to freak y'all out to make you react in a way that they want you to react regardless. It doesn't matter. And I feel like that was I personally feel like if that's what it is, that's what he's doing. He's doing it to show people like this is what the media is going to do because that's what he's been speaking on the whole time since the inauguration. He's been speaking on the media and how they've been lying and all this, and that. So I feel like he did it to troll personally. But
he's basically doing what Trump used to do.
Yeah.
Trump's not nearly as bad at trolling anymore. He basically sticks to saying his little speeches about
because he needs people to take him serious this go round, so he can't do that. And I feel like
he's doing a good job so far. He stood his ground against that bishop that decided to have an LGBTQ rally in the middle of church. I'm not very happy about that. But it makes me wonder, like, do they vet these people? Because I did a little bit of research on this bishop, and she was in Minnesota during the George Floyd riots, and she was advocating for Trump to get removed from office then. So how did this woman get up on the stage to speak at Trump's inaugural prayer? Come on, man. Trump, your team's got to do better. Stop putting people up there. It's going to make you.
Which is surprising because the campaign was so flawless. So it's to think that she even made it up there is a little weird. Like,
I know. I think they thought they were safe in a church. But they thought they were safe in a church and thought, well, we'll be all right. And nobody looked into the bishop or whatever. Or maybe they wanted her to put that out there. I don't know. but I wouldn't have done it. I would have said that I need somebody else to do it because you hate me and you've publicly admitted it, and you're constantly using the pulpit for your political gains. I'm not playing that game. I'm here to go to church and get blessed. But other than that, I know we went through a lot of information today. I spent just about half my day today rounding all this stuff up and making sure I had everything together. But that's pretty much the show for the day. We're at the hour mark. Thank you, Shauna. And thank you, everybody in the gallery, for talking to me today. And I will see you all on Sunday unless something crazy happens. Everybody be safe. Watch out for crazy liberals.
You want some mac and cheese?
I'm out.
Yeah, you go get some?